What's up, everyone? My name's JakeTheFlake, and I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of the production for When by Dodie. Where do we get started? Well, I guess first I should say, if you haven't checked out Build a Problem album by Dodie, which includes this track, When, please go check out Dodie's When. It's a great song. Go listen to it right now. Actually, don't watch this first, and then go listen to that. But listen to it. It's good. Anyways, I just want to kind of give you a breakdown of all of these different things. As you can see from, if you had watched my That Funny Feeling production breakdown compared to this, there is clearly a lot more that we're going to be bringing down here. This was actually the first production I made before That Funny Feeling, so there's some things that listening back that I probably would have changed had I known some of the things I know now. But for a first kind of production, I'm happy with this. So let's just jump right in. We'll get started with the percussion. So if I open up this production here, or percussion here, you'll see that there's really not that much in here. There's basically an impact drum and then the background pulse. So if I just solo both of these, you can hear, basically I have the big impacts that you can hear in the swell. So like if I, okay, see what here, once I get to the swell, right, this big impact, right, and that's just all this. Right, so it's just this big impact drum on those, and then you just have this kind of pulse in the background. Which again just kind of drives the track, and it just kind of sits underneath.
Getting sickly sweet guys, cause they say they like.
Not very audible, but again, it just kind of sits underneath and just really makes you feel that bit of a pulse. Let me see if I can actually pull up the tracks for these. So yeah, I don't really have much on this. This is just basically a filter of some sort. I think this is an actual EQ here. And then this is let me just open these up so you can see them actually. So yeah, this is an EQ. I just EQ'd all of the highs on this big impact drum. I didn't want a lot of the highs, just for taste. I only wanted like the deep kind of thud of that bass sound. And then if I look here at my super massive reverb, this is just what makes that impact just trail for forever. So if we listen, it's just trails for forever. That's what this is doing. So yeah, I mean, feel free to look at this. I just kind of picked some presets that I liked. You'll find that I did that with a lot of these. So there's that. For the pulse background, I think it's pretty much the same thing. I used a different reverb on this, a compressor just to kind of let it fit more in the mix. And then again, just an EQ. Cut out the highs because again I just wanted to kind of sit in the background with that full kind of bass sound. So yeah, nothing too crazy there for percussion wise. So onward, we move to the next thing. So let's look at our keyboards. So keyboards, you can see here we have quite a bit, and actually a lot of it's just the same piano track. I basically recorded this piano track myself on piano. That piano right there, in fact. Recorded this piano part and basically split it between a center track, a left track, and a right track. I know it's different in like my camera, but like this is the right, this is the left. From what you're seeing, it looks backwards, but that's okay. So primarily you'll hear this centered piano. This is like the primary kind of goal here, right? And I don't think there's really that much on here. A slight bit of reverb. And then just a compressor to, again, just kind of fit it in the mix a little bit better. Am I actually EQing this? Yes, EQing a bit more of the highs to bring them up, just to make it a little bit brighter. And then you'll hear basically a lot of the flavor and reverb are actually on these pans piano parts. So like if I mute the regular, you'll hear a lot of that kind of reverb and stuff is actually on these side tracks. So they're adding a lot more of that just texture and taste. So let's open one of these. I think they're both set up exactly the same. So you have a space modular and an echo. So this I'm using primarily just for the very long reverb. And then this I'm adding for basically to build that reverb on itself. So again, just using some basic presets here. I didn't do anything crazy. This one I may have tweaked a few knobs. Honestly, don't remember if I did or not. Compressor, again, just to fit it in the mix. And then an EQ, again, bringing up those highs just to kind of make that sound a little bit brighter. So Nothing crazy there. And then I did want to add, I felt like this piano part by itself was a little stale. Didn't have quite the fullness that I wanted. So I went ahead and added this kind of chord pad, which you'll hear here, just to kind of, again, add some support. I think this is analog 5, but let me check. Yeah, so it's just analog 5, this Dingerama. I think I may have changed like the reverb volume and stuff. That's why it's a little bit edited here. Yeah, it's literally just the underlying chords there. Nothing crazy going on there. Did I EQ or anything here? I did. I cut out the low end just because, again, I didn't want that low end to build up. That is one thing with this track that I probably should have changed is in these piano parts, probably should have cut some of those lows, whereas I didn't. So going back, I definitely probably would have done that, but it's too late to go back now. But anyways, we move on. So let's move on, shall we? Let's move on to our vocal takes. So as you can see here, it's again just one kind of vocal take. I took several different vocal takes and just kind of chose the best one of the mix. Stuck with that one and then split it again into center, left, and right, and applied some effects accordingly. I will note that on all of these, I did run them through RX8 to remove some spectral noise, as well as use Very Audio to pitch correct the actual tracks. So if we listen here, we can solo these.
I've been telling lies.
So you can hear it pitched. I do add some reverb and some delay on these through some sends. Just come through here. You can see the short delay. Wow, short delay and the short reverb are both being sent here. And I also have quite a few, actually I guess it's just one, automation triggers. Yeah, so right here. So when I get to the ooze, I really wanted more reverb. I really felt like what I had in my effects wasn't enough. So I created this long reverb send. So you'll see once we get to the ooze, it will activate. So it should turn on here. There you go. And that's where you get that really long reverb trails here. It just echoes forever. And I think it's actually a bit more noticeable on these side tracks because I want to say I did the same thing there as well. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. So yeah, a lot of that just like big echo comes from that. Let's see. Compressor. I did compress my vocals pretty heavily because they were very kind of crushed and way low in the mix, so I wanted to kind of bring them up. As well as, again, an EQ, just boosted some mids here, mid-highs, and cut the lows. Again, I know I say this a lot, nothing crazy. I can show you the sends that I have here. So let me go down to the bottom, and we can show you the... Wow, did I have this muted? That's dumb. Okay. So yeah, just a stereo delay for my short delay. For my long, well, I guess I don't have a long delay. For my short reverb, we're using the Neoverb, just dark empty recital hall. And then for my long reverb, I'm using another Neoverb with an infinity chamber, which is to extend that bad boy out to echo forever. So back to the vocal tracks. If we go in here, let's look at our side vocals. So these, I guess I didn't put anything on. I would have thought that I would have, but apparently I didn't. That is definitely something I would have changed had I known that. I definitely would have put some stuff on those, but apparently I didn't. So yeah, you can just hear here. Let me get back in here.
Am I the only one wishing
So this is just the vanilla tracks just pushed to each side just to kind of spread that stereo field. And then a lot of just the main effects are on that main vocal.
Teach me how to think.
So yeah, that's kind of it for the vocals. Nothing crazy. So let's move on to the bass, which again is just a couple bass lines. So this one is again used for that impact. So if we just solo here, it's just a big kind of bass impact solo. So you hear, yeah, just a big solid boomy bass, more of like a sine impact. And then I use just this one underneath, which is just the chords, which is the main kind of support for the whole track. And it's just just sine waves. That's all it is, and it just supports everything. I don't even think there's any effects on either of these. I think it's literally just a sine wave for both, just to kind of add some effect. So I'm not even going to go into the bass any more than that. We'll just move right on to the next thing. So let's move on to some effects in ear candy thing, which I'm actually super stoked about because I feel like a lot of people won't notice these until I point them out. Because they really just sit under the mix and add some more texture. This is probably the part of this track that I'm the most proud of, is the actual just the ear candy that's in here. So let me go ahead and let me just play the whole track and see if you can actually like hear this stuff underneath. So the first thing I have here is like a breathy sound, right? So and this is just literally me breathing into the mic. And it's just kind of as like my risers and fallers throughout the whole track. And I use it more just for like tension and release on those chord changes, right? So it's and out, but like unless you're really paying attention to it, you probably won't hear it. So that's one part I'm pretty stoked about. Another thing, I took a like wind chimes and birds soundtrack. So if you hear it back like here, it's very, very quiet and really far back in the mix. But I just wanted some more just like atmosphere at the beginning of the song. So I used like this bird and wind chime thing at the very beginning of the song. Very, very quiet. And if you mix it into the whole track, you almost don't hear it because it's so quiet. And yeah, it just trails out right before it goes into the hit. And you can actually, it's probably the most noticeable point is right before the hit when everything kind of pans out. You can hear the birds and the wind chimes probably the most because they don't cut out. So yeah, if you listen really close, you can hear just in that gap, just some more wind chimes, some more birds. I don't know if anyone actually caught that when they listened to the track the first time, but very, very proud of that. And then another thing, I just really loved the ooh part, right? But I felt like there was something missing. So if you listen here, I just really thought that there needed to be like one extra thing. And I was just got to think I was like a ticking clock would be great right now. So if you listen, it's very, very subtle again. It's literally just a ticking clock. But once you mix it into everything, I just think it fits so well and really just kind of sets up that where are we going with this? Time is kind of short. When is a point in time, right? So just referring to this kind of illusion of time when it comes to when, I just thought was really clever. And I really liked that. I really liked how that ticking clock fit into the mix. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have some group tracks here, which is literally just sending like each of these tracks to their appropriate buses so that I can add some effects and stuff afterwards. I don't think I actually added any effects or anything afterwards. I may have added some like an ozone on my stereo for mastering, but I think I literally just used the stock settings here. I didn't do anything crazy. So again, I think that's pretty much it for the breakdown of this track. I hope those of you who did learn or are going through a process of learning production took something out of this video. I realize it's very, very beginner, kind of bare bone, because again, I'm also very new to this. So I'm learning. This is in fact the first production I made prior to That Funny Feeling. So this is my very, very first production. And there are things I could have done better. Please, to those of you who have been producing for a long time and know a lot more tips and tricks, please point out things that are wrong, things I could have done better, because I feel like that's how I'm going to learn. It's just the feedback that you guys give. So please tell me if you see something here that's you would have done differently or could have done better or is not quite industry standard. Let me know, and I'll do my research and try to learn some of these things. I want to grow just as much as I want to provide you guys the content to grow. And obviously I can't give you guys that content if I don't have the knowledge myself. So we're all just kind of learning this together. And I really look forward to what we can do in the future. But thank you guys for watching. And I hope those of you who took something out of this. So until next time, thank you guys. And I'll see you then. Bye.